The evening of the 18th of January 1960, convict forthcoming Morris enters the government prison at Alcatraz, an island fort arranged in San Francisco Sound, California. Subsequent to being strip-looked and given a dim blue jail uniform, Honest is accompanied exposed to his cell where one gatekeeper insults him by expressing "Welcome to Alcatraz."
Welcome to Alcatraz.
Not long after showing up, Blunt is brought to the workplace of the superintendent, who cautions him that Alcatraz is extraordinary inside the U.S. jail framework for its extremely elevated degree of safety. As indicated by his document, Straightforward has an outstanding IQ. What's more, has fled from different offices, yet the superintendent illuminates him that no prisoner has at any point effectively got away from Alcatraz. During the discussion, the superintendent neglects to see that Blunt has taken one of the nail trimmers on the work area. Over the course of the following a few days, Honest makes colleagues with a couple of detainees. Among them are Litmus, a lifer who keeps a pet mouse, English, an African-American man carrying out 2 successive long-term punishments for a twofold homicide, and the jail curator, and Chester Doc Dalton, an old man who lays out representations and once developed chrysanthemums at Alcatraz. Nonetheless, Plain likewise experiences a domineering jerk named Wolf, who bothers him in the showers and later goes after him in the jail yard with a knife. The watchmen separate the battle, and the 2 men are shipped off isolation cells in D Block, notwithstanding Plain just acting with good reason. After 14 days, in the wake of being let out of the fierce, secluded conditions, Honest sinks into the daily schedule of Alcatraz and a task in the carpentry shop and running books for English from the library. English deserves profound admiration in the jail yard, sitting high over different detainees. At the point when forthright methodologies, English's companions attempt to stop him, however English startlingly allows him to sit with him. Forthcoming likewise gets to know another prisoner in the bordering cell, Charlie Butts, and on a fantastic burglary auto charge that turned into a government rap when he crossed state lines with the vehicle. At the point when the superintendent enters Doc's cell unannounced, he sees that Doc has laid out an extremely nitty-gritty representation of the superintendent. At first the superintendent seems complimented, yet later he savagely arranges Doc's painting honors to be wiped out without clarification. Crushed, Doc purposefully slashes off 3 of his fingers in the carpentry shop with an axe. Straight to the point, and different prisoners before long discover that the superintendent saw the picture of himself among Doc's artistic creations and was answerable for requesting the perverted punishment. In his cell one day, Honest sees a bug move into the ventilator barbecue under the sink. Utilizing the nail document he took from the superintendent, he breaks off a piece of the substantial around the opening. Alongside siblings John and Clarence Anglin, who are Honest's companions from another jail sentence, and Charlie, straight to the point, designs a getaway. Since the sodden air and the salt water encompassing Alcatraz have mellowed the substantial groundwork and consumed the metal throughout recent many years, Straightforward figures they can dig an opening around their ventilators sufficiently huge to slither through and access the shaft, prompting the rooftop. To delude the watchmen during head counts, Honest recommends making papier-mâché faker heads, utilizing tissue-hued paint and hair from the barbershop. Since John works in the dress shop, he can get waterproof shells that can be joined with contact concrete to make a pontoon and life preservers. Charlie takes up painting to secure the varieties expected to make the fake heads and make cardboard covers for the cell vents. Throughout the following a few evenings, as Charlie keeps watch, Candid keeps on scooping out his opening with a nail document and uses an accordion to mask the opening. He later sneaks a spoon from the cafeteria and welds up to the record to give a superior grasp to digging, a stunt he gains from English utilizing filings from a dime he gets from Litmus. Utilizing a wedge he sneaks from the carpentry shop, he can throw out the metal barbecue and brings his initial top into the shaft. Charlie and the Anglins begin to etch their openings, while Forthcoming makes his spurious head. At the point when the imitation is done, Candid lays the phony head on the bunk as though he is dozing and goes on his initial outing into the path. At first the watchman is tricked by the faker, yet later becomes dubious when he sees that Blunt has not moved. Notwithstanding, straight to the point wonderfully gets back to the bed before the bait is uncovered. The next day, Candid discovers that the Anglin siblings are gaining ground on their openings and heads, yet Charlie is bogged down. During the following outing into the way, John brings the waterproof shells and starts setting up the buoyancy gadgets. In the meantime, Plain researches the iron bars and hood hindering the exit to the rooftop and devises an improvised drill from a little fan to eliminate their underlying scaffolding. With the way clear and the pontoons practically prepared, Honest timetables the getaway for Tuesday night, June 11, 1962. A couple of days after the fact, upon the arrival of the arranged break, during supper time, Forthcoming spots a chrysanthemum at the table to pay tribute to Doc. Yet the superintendent comes by and pulverizes it, helping Straightforward to remember guidelines. Litmus is irritated, yet as he connects with Assault the superintendent, he experiences a lethal cardiovascular failure. Afterward, the superintendent demands an investigation of Straight-to-the-Point's cell and sees as the same old thing. Notwithstanding, when he hears that Straight-to-the-Point and Charlie keep awake until late chatting, he gives orders for the two detainees to be migrated to various cells quickly. In the interim, Wolf has been set free from isolation and gets ready to wound Straightforward with a blade, however English can catch him. That evening, Forthright, John, Clarence and Charlie plan to meet in the path of departure. Notwithstanding, Charlie overreacts and neglects to meet with them. Conveying the buoyancy stuff, Straightforward and the siblings access the rooftop and keep away from the searchlights. From that point, they scramble down the side of the structure into the jail yard, move over a spiked metal perimeter and advance toward the shore of the island where they swell the pontoon. The three men enter the water and start kicking. The following day at daybreak, a watchman orders Plane to get up and plan for movement to another cell. At the point when there is no reaction, the gatekeeper slaps the head and it rolls on the floor. The caution sounds and English grins, realizing that Camden has gotten away. As police search the region, there is no proof to show whether the three prisoners made do, yet the superintendent would rather not flaw his ideal record and demands they suffocated. On a stone by the shore, he tracks down a chrysanthemum and tosses it into water. The destinies of Straight-to-the-Point, Clarence and John are left obscure even after a broad examination by the FBI.